All right, Cancer, let's get into your reading. So, the energy that I have for you today is this, and it carries real weight. Two different people are pulling toward you right now, and both of them carry genuine desire. Neither one reached you by accident. The universe placed both connections directly in your path. This is not a coincidence. Deep inside your chest, you have already felt both of their energies. One of these individuals holds something deeper, a love that was written long before this lifetime began. The other carries warmth and attraction, but the foundation beneath that connection does not run nearly as deep. Your spirit already senses the difference, even if your conscious mind has not fully caught up yet. Something inside you gravitates toward one of them, and that quiet magnetic pull holds more honesty than words. There is a reason you have felt restless lately. Your soul recognizes a choice that cannot be avoided. Every quiet moment alone becomes louder because your intuition keeps whispering that something enormous is about to shift. The very first card I have for you is the Lovers, and this validates everything at once. The Lovers never surfaces without purpose. It only arrives when two paths of love compete for your attention. This card confirms that the choice in front of you is absolutely real, not imagined at all. Your heart recognizes that something monumental is unfolding because both of these people awaken different parts of you. One ignites passion and physical chemistry, while that deeper bond stirs something ancient buried beneath your surface. The Lovers wants you to understand the universe would never present this crossroads without a divine purpose. What this card also reveals is that your higher self already leans toward one of these individuals naturally. You may not have voiced that preference out loud, but the Lover says your heart decided long ago. Sacred timing placed both individuals here at once, forcing a recognition your soul has been quietly preparing for. The next card coming through is the Two of Wands, and it reveals the bigger picture here. Two of Wands holds a vision. It says you are standing at the edge of a massive decision. This is not about choosing who is more attractive. It concerns who aligns with your entire future. One road leads to temporary comfort, and its counterpart opens a doorway into lasting spiritual partnership. The Two of Wands shows your soul already possesses the wisdom. You just need to trust it. What makes this card powerful is that it refuses to let you settle for anything less than destiny. Temporary pleasure will always fade, but the connection meant for you holds a flame that intensifies over years. Then we have the Knight of Cups stepping forward, and this card brings a wave of clarity. Knight of Cups represents a devoted, romantic energy. This person approaches with their full heart exposed. This particular individual does not play games. They pursue you because something in their chest demands it. Their feelings developed quietly over time, growing in secret before they ever revealed a single word. Nobody instructed this person to care for you. That devotion rose from somewhere deep and entirely organic. That kind of devotion cannot be manufactured. It only emerges when two souls share a blueprint predating Earth. Knight of Cups tells me, One of these two people is driven by pure and undeniable love. The final card appearing here is the Page of Swords, and it brings a necessary warning today. Page of Swords suggests that second connection might involve hidden motives, words that do not match true intention. This card is not condemning that person entirely, but it urges you to observe their actions more carefully. When attraction clouds your judgment, the Page of Swords asks you to pause and think with sharper eyes. Your intuition has already flagged small inconsistencies, and these feelings deserve your complete attention right now. Genuine love proves itself through consistent behavior, not occasional gestures designed to keep you distracted from truth. Pay close attention to what they do versus what they promise, because the Page of Swords never lies. The message behind this reading is unmistakable. One of these two people was sent by the divine. Trust what your body tells you, because the right choice will bring a peace you have craved forever. Nothing about this moment is random. You are standing at the most significant crossroads of your heart.
Now, let us come in close today, because this section belongs entirely to you and your heart. Before the cards go any further, they want to honor the emotional weight you have been holding. You have carried a heaviness lately, and most of it stems from a confusion you cannot name. Your chest tightens whenever love crosses your mind, because old wounds still echo through every new feeling. A part of you craves deep romantic connection, yet another part instinctively builds walls out of protection. That internal battle exhausts you far more than you admit, and it has operated silently for months. You present strength publicly, but behind closed doors, your mind replays every unanswered question on repeat. Nobody sees that version of you, the one who aches quietly and wonders if love feels safe. The weight of unanswered longing presses on your shoulders, and you absorb it without complaint every single day. The first card I pulled for your energy is the Moon, and it speaks directly to this. The moon illuminates what hides beneath your surface, and you have buried so much without realizing it. Fear rests at the root of your indecision, a genuine terror of choosing wrong and suffering again. You have experienced heartbreak that rewired how you approach vulnerability, and those scars still pulse constantly. The moon says your subconscious holds the answer, but layers of self-protection keep it carefully hidden. You dream about love far more than you speak about it, and those private visions reveal everything. Late at night, your guard drops completely, and in that stillness, you feel what your heart truly craves. The moon confirms you are not broken for feeling torn. You are processing something enormous without enough space. The next card revealing your emotional truth is the Nine of Cups, and this reshapes everything. Nine of Cups represents fulfillment at the deepest level, confirming you already know what real contentment resembles. You can picture the exact sensation of being loved correctly, imagined in such vivid, specific detail. That clarity is not fantasy. It is proof your soul remembers what it was designed to receive. Nine of Cups tells me your standards were never unrealistic. They mirror a knowing living in your bones. Others may have labeled you too selective, but this card validates every boundary you have ever held firmly. You deserve the version of love matching your deepest private vision, and settling would betray your own spirit. Your emotional intelligence runs deeper than most people realize, and you sense dishonesty instantly without requiring proof. That perceptive gift has shielded you before, and it filters every interaction through a quiet lens of truth. Then we have the Queen of Wands appearing for you, and she mirrors your untapped fire perfectly. Queen of Wands says a boldness lives inside you, something dormant that has been waiting for permission. You dim your own radiance in romantic situations, afraid that your full intensity might frighten people away. That habit formed as a survival response, but the Queen of Wands insists it no longer serves you. Your magnetism operates at a frequency few can match, which explains why ordinary connections feel so hollow. You were never designed for lukewarm encounters. Your spirit was built for a love that burns equally. Queen of Wands confirms you possess everything required to attract what you desire, without shrinking one single inch. The final card grounding your energy is the Star, and it pours pure healing into this moment. The Star says restoration has already begun within you, even if external proof has not surfaced quite yet. Hope rebuilds itself quietly inside your chest, and each passing day dissolves another fragment of old resistance. You have survived every storm that attempted to close your heart, and that resilience becomes your greatest strength. The Star confirms your emotional foundation holds more power than you credit yourself for, and renewal approaches steadily. Something within you has shifted, a softening that finally allows love to reach places it could never access. You stand at the threshold of emotional rebirth, and every feeling you carry now serves that exact purpose. With each layer of old pain falling away, something warmer and more alive rises to take its place. This portion of the reading belongs only to you, honoring the depth of everything stored inside your chest. Okay, let us go deeper into this, because the cards now shift focus entirely onto their inner worlds. Two separate people carry feelings that have nothing to do with logic and everything to do with obsession. Each one developed their attachment independently, and neither understands fully why the pull became this overwhelming. The first individual holds a longing that started quietly, then grew into something they could not contain anymore. Their chest aches with a recognition they never asked for.
a spiritual familiarity that haunts their private moments. This particular connection lives rent-free in their mind, occupying every quiet second between daily responsibilities. They replay conversations that never happened, imagining words they desperately want to say but cannot find courage for. The first card for their combined energy is the Ten of Cups, and it reveals deep motivation. Ten of Cups represents ultimate emotional fulfillment, and one of these individuals genuinely envisions a complete life together. Their desire is not shallow or temporary. It extends into a vision of partnership built on absolute devotion. Ten of Cups says at least one dreams of mornings tangled together, wrapped in warmth and lasting safety. They imagine holidays together, quiet evenings on a couch, laughter that echoes through a home filled with belonging. That level of emotional investment did not arrive overnight. It accumulated through months of silent adoration and restraint. Their heart constructed an entire future without permission, and now that blueprint dominates every waking thought they carry. The next card stepping forward is the Emperor, and this reveals a very different kind of inner landscape. The Emperor represents authority and control, and the second individual approaches their feelings from a more guarded position. Their desire burns just as intensely, but pride prevents them from showing vulnerability in any recognizable form. Where the first wears their heart beneath a thin surface, the second buries emotion under layers of composure. The Emperor says this individual fears losing power because admitting real feelings threatens the identity they built. Their internal struggle centers on maintaining an image, because confessing real feelings threatens the identity they constructed carefully. Nobody around them suspects the depth of what brews underneath, and that secrecy intensifies the pressure building within. The Emperor confirms this person operates from calculated restraint, but beneath that armor lives raw tenderness. Then we have the Seven of Cups appearing, and this card illuminates the fantasies both individuals nurture privately. Seven of Cups represents illusion and desire, confirming that both people project elaborate emotional scenarios onto this connection. One fantasizes about soft confessions whispered late at night, while the other imagines proving their worth through action. Their motivations differ dramatically, but the intensity of private longing matches perfectly between both individuals. Seven of Cups also warns that not every feeling driving them originates from genuine, authentic intention. One carries motives that align with the soul, while the other may harbor desires mixed with personal need. The distinction matters deeply, because surface attraction and spiritual recognition produce identical symptoms, but vastly different outcomes. Their inner worlds collide without either knowing, creating an invisible tension that radiates outward in every shared space. The final card grounding their energy is the Ace of Wands, and it confirms passionate, creative obsession. Ace of Wands represents raw inspiration, and both individuals feel creatively awakened by the mere thought of closeness. Their minds generate scenarios constantly, crafting imagined exchanges that feel more vivid than most real conversations they hold. One channels that creative fire into romantic devotion, while the other transforms it into strategies for gaining attention. Ace of Wands confirms the passion on both sides is undeniable, but the origin of that fire differs. One burns from the soul outward, while the other ignites from ego and curiosity wrapped in genuine attraction. Neither individual comprehends the magnitude of what they carry, and both underestimate how visible their longing became. Their private worlds overflow with unspoken declarations, and every suppressed feeling amplifies the weight on their chests. This portion of the reading belongs entirely to them, honoring the complexity of what lives beneath both surfaces.
So let us go ahead and get into it, because the cards are now showing real physical movement. Things have already started shifting in the external world, and neither individual is sitting still any longer. One of them has begun making calculated adjustments to their daily routine, positioning themselves closer to shared spaces. They have started appearing in places where a crossing becomes more likely, and none of it is accidental. Small signals are being sent through carefully chosen words, brief glances held a second longer than necessary. Text messages arrive with slightly more frequency now, each one crafted to appear casual while carrying hidden weight. The timing of their communication has shifted noticeably, with responses arriving faster and conversations stretching longer than before. Details about daily life get exchanged with increasing openness, and personal stories surface that were previously guarded. One individual has already mentioned plans that create openings for proximity, suggesting group activities or shared commitments. The first card showing this movement is the Eight of Wands, and it confirms rapid acceleration ahead. Eight of Wands represents swift action, indicating that both individuals are about to increase their visibility dramatically. Messages will land with greater urgency, and invitations that once felt casual will carry unmistakable directness behind them. Eight of Wands says the pace of contact is about to double, with one person reaching out daily. Phone calls replace text threads, and voice notes begin appearing because written words no longer satisfy the need. Physical encounters multiply within the coming weeks, as both individuals independently orchestrate situations that guarantee face time. One arranges a gathering specifically designed to create private moments, while the other increases presence on social platforms. The second card driving this momentum is the Chariot, and it shows one person taking deliberate command. The Chariot represents determined forward motion, confirming that one individual has made a firm decision to pursue openly. Their approach becomes impossible to ignore, with direct invitations replacing subtle hints and vague suggestions from before. The Chariot says this person will initiate a direct conversation, removing all ambiguity about their interest and intention. That exchange happens sooner than expected, arriving during a week where both schedules align in an unusual way. Meanwhile, the second individual responds by escalating their own efforts, refusing to fade into the background quietly. Competition between them becomes visible to outside observers as mutual acquaintances begin noticing the increased attention being directed. The dynamic between them shifts from private interest to public positioning, and every move becomes more intentional. Social media activity intensifies from both directions, with likes and comments appearing on posts within minutes of publishing. One sends a direct message referencing a shared memory, designed to trigger a deeply personal response. The other counters with a bold appearance in person, disrupting the expected routine and demanding immediate acknowledgement. The final card anchoring this action is the Three of Pentacles, and it confirms collaborative movement forward. Three of Pentacles represents teamwork and building, showing that practical steps toward connection are already being laid. One individual introduces themselves into professional or social circles that overlap, creating organic reasons for regular interaction. Invitations to collaborate on projects or attend events together begin surfacing, each one carefully structured to build familiarity. Three of Pentacles confirms the movement is not random. Both individuals are constructing pathways that lead directly inward. Shared activities become the vehicle for closeness, with gym sessions or coffee meetups replacing the distance that existed. The physical world is rearranging itself around this connection, and the momentum building right now cannot be reversed. Every action from this point forward narrows the gap, and proximity alone will force the situation into clarity. Decisions that once felt distant now arrive on accelerated timelines, pushed forward by the movement both individuals initiated. This portion of the reading captures the tangible shifts unfolding, where intention finally translates into visible, undeniable action. Now let us go deeper into this, because the cards expose what neither person has confessed yet. Hidden words live trapped behind closed lips, and the weight of those unspoken truths grows heavier daily. One individual rehearses confessions in the mirror, whispering declarations they have never found the nerve to release. The phrases they practice sound desperate to their own ears, and that raw vulnerability terrifies them completely. They want to admit that everything changed after one particular glance, and nothing returned to normal since. That single exchange rewired their internal compass, and now every thought orbits a connection they cannot explain. Their deepest confession is this: they have never craved anything in their existence as intensely as this. The silence surrounding that admission creates unbearable pressure, because holding it inside feels like swallowing a flame. Every night the words rearrange themselves inside, forming new versions of the same desperate truth begging for voice. The first card illuminating hidden truths is the Ace of Cups, and it confirms overwhelming unspoken devotion. Ace of Cups represents the purest emotional offering, a love so full it threatens to overflow without warning. One individual secretly desires to surrender every protective wall, kneeling before vulnerability they spent years constructing. Their hidden wish extends beyond romantic attention, reaching toward complete spiritual fusion with another soul entirely. Ace of Cups says this person privately admits they would reshape their world to accommodate this connection. They have whispered into empty rooms, confessing that nobody has ever occupied their mind with this permanence. The confession buried deepest involves a terror of arriving too late. That hesitation already cost them everything. That particular thought haunts them during sleepless hours, replaying scenarios where courage arrived one moment too slow. The second card revealing concealed desires is the Six of Cups, and it uncovers nostalgic confession. Six of Cups represents past connections and innocence, confirming one individual ties this bond to something sacred. Their secret admission is simple. This feeling mirrors the very first time they truly understood love. A purity exists within their desire that defies articulation, something childlike and untouched by cynicism or pride. Six of Cups tells me this person confesses privately. No other bond has ever recreated that original magic.
They guard that comparison carefully because speaking it aloud would expose an attachment depth they find terrifying. Naming that emotion would make it permanent, and permanence demands a courage neither of them currently possesses. The other individual carries a different confession, one wrapped in pride and the refusal to appear desperate. Their hidden desire centers on possession, wanting to occupy the only name echoing through these intimate thoughts. The jealousy they suppress is volcanic, and admitting how territorial they became would shatter the image they protect. Privately, they confess to craving exclusivity, a bond where no competitor exists and no alternative receives attention. That craving for singular devotion consumes their mental space, far more than they would ever voluntarily reveal. They imagine a reality where attention flows in one direction, exclusively toward them without interruption or shared competition. The final card exposing these confessions is the High Priestess, and she confirms secrets layered beneath secrets. The High Priestess represents hidden knowledge, confirming both individuals conceal desires even from their own conscious awareness. One secretly wishes for love so consuming that ordinary existence dissolves, leaving only raw, sustained intimacy. The other craves validation at the deepest level, needing proof that their presence alone completes another person. Neither confession has surfaced yet, but the High Priestess says the pressure behind both admissions keeps mounting. Words form on the edges of their tongues during every interaction, and swallowing them back requires growing effort. The dam holding these confessions cannot survive much longer because silence has reached its absolute breaking capacity. Every suppressed declaration amplifies in volume, and what remains hidden today demands release with doubled intensity tomorrow. This portion of the reading honors the unsaid, confessions living in shadow that both individuals carry silently within. Okay, let us see what the cards show today, because this final section carries everything forward into clarity. The near future holds a moment of undeniable recognition, where the difference between both connections becomes obvious. Within the coming weeks, a conversation arrives that strips away every remaining layer of uncertainty between all parties. One individual steps fully into the light, and their sincerity becomes so plain that doubt simply vanishes. The first card guiding this forward is the Wheel of Fortune, and it confirms a destined turning point. Wheel of Fortune represents fate and cycles, indicating the universe will spin circumstances into alignment soon. A shift arrives uninvited, placing you directly in front of the answer you have been quietly seeking. Wheel of Fortune says this transition feels sudden, but every prior event was quietly building toward it. The next card offering guidance is Temperance, and it carries the most important advice of this reading. Temperance represents patience and balance, urging you to resist choosing from a place of pressure or urgency. The right choice does not require rushing, because what belongs to you will never demand you abandon peace. Temperance says observe both individuals through calm, centered eyes, allowing their true character to surface on its own. Do not let flattery accelerate your timeline, and do not let fear push you into settling prematurely. The person destined for you will remain constant, regardless of how long the path toward full clarity takes. The final card sealing this reading is the Four of Wands, and it confirms celebration on the horizon. Four of Wands represents homecoming and joy, showing that the correct choice leads to emotional stability and warmth. A chapter of genuine partnership opens once the decision clears, and that chapter holds lasting fulfillment within. Four of Wands confirms you walk toward love that feels like arriving home after years of wandering. Now let me bring the message back around, because it has been woven through every card pulled today. Two people desire you right now, and one of them is your true match sent by the divine. The choice before you is not about who wants you more. It is about who matches your soul. One connection burns from authentic devotion, while the other operates from a space of personal need and ego. Your heart already recognizes the difference, and this reading confirms your instinct has been accurate from the start. Let me walk through every card that appeared across this reading, because each one carried specific purpose. The Lovers confirmed two genuine paths competing for attention, and Two of Wands revealed the larger vision ahead. Knight of Cups identified devoted romantic energy approaching openly, while Page of Swords warned about hidden motives nearby. The Moon illuminated buried fears affecting your clarity, and Nine of Cups validated your deepest emotional standards firmly. Queen of Wands mirrored your untapped fire within, while the Star poured healing directly into your emotional foundation. Ten of Cups exposed one individual envisioning complete partnership, and the Emperor revealed the other guarding behind composure. Seven of Cups confirmed both nurture elaborate private fantasies, while Ace of Wands showed passionate, creative obsession. Eight of Wands accelerated all forward movement, and the Chariot showed one person taking deliberate command of pursuit. Three of Pentacles confirmed practical steps being constructed, with both individuals building pathways toward closer, sustained proximity. Ace of Cups revealed overwhelming unspoken devotion, and Six of Cups tied one confession to sacred, nostalgic innocence. The High Priestess confirmed secrets layered beneath secrets, with desires concealed even from their own conscious awareness. Wheel of Fortune announced the destined turning point. Temperance urged patience, and Four of Wands promised joyful celebration. This reading carried one truth from beginning to end, and that truth never wavered across any single card. You are deeply desired, and one of these individuals was placed in your life by complete divine design. Trust what your body knows, because the right choice brings a peace your soul has craved for lifetimes. The love meant for you does not require convincing. It simply arrives and stays with quiet, unshakable certainty. Thank you so much for being here today and for trusting me to walk through this with you. I appreciate your presence and your openness, and I am sending you so much love and light today. Within the coming weeks, a conversation arrives that strips away every remaining layer of uncertainty between all parties. One individual steps fully into the light, and their sincerity becomes so plain that doubt simply vanishes. The first card guiding this forward is the Wheel of Fortune, and it confirms a destined turning point. Wheel of Fortune represents fate and cycles, indicating the universe will spin circumstances into alignment soon. A shift arrives uninvited, placing you directly in front of the answer you have been quietly seeking. Wheel of Fortune says this transition feels sudden, but every prior event was quietly building toward it. The next card offering guidance is Temperance, and it carries the most important advice of this reading. Temperance represents patience and balance, urging you to resist choosing from a place of pressure or urgency. The right choice does not require rushing, because what belongs to you will never demand you abandon peace. Temperance says, observe both individuals through calm, centered eyes, allowing their true character to surface on its own. Do not let flattery accelerate your timeline, and do not let fear push you into settling